Hello. A while ago, I wrote for Chicago Now about tuning up my Linux laptop. And with Windows 7 coming to end of life this week, I thought it might be good to do another screencast of my writing laptop. Currently, I'm running Linux Mint 19.3 using the XFCE desktop environment on an 11-year-old, what used to be a refurbished HP 8530P Elitebook laptop. It was originally configured to run Windows 7, and running Windows 10 it was sluggish. It currently runs at 4 gig RAM with an Intel Celeron dual-core chip. And one of the nice things about this is that if we look at running out of the box in terms of system resources, we're running at about 520 meg RAM. When this was running Windows 10, same 4 gig RAM, it was running about 2 gig. So there's a lot more processing power when it comes to running software, and things run a little bit faster. And if we look at disk space, one of the things that happened was I had to upgrade the hard drive from 160 to 320 gig. The old hard drive had some bad sectors and was not working well. And also, just a pro tip. Originally, one of the things I had to do was replace the thermal paste. The laptop was running hot. It would start at about 95 degrees, which is as high as a laptop should go, and would run up to 110, and it would cancel out at 113. So we're running at a pretty good temperature, and we're using 30% of our drive. About 10 gigs of this is the operating system, whereas with the same number of files on Windows 10, it would be about 50% full. So one of the lovely things about this is that with Linux, not only is it free and open source, but you don't have to worry about updates. Unlike Windows, you get to choose what you update. So if we go to the Update Manager, let's refresh to see if there's any new software. And unlike Windows, which forces upgrades on you whether you like it or not, ooh, we have something. Again, it's not blazing fast, but it's a lot faster than if we were running Windows 10, especially on 11-year-old hardware. And for those saying, okay, we're done. And for those who are wondering, well, why should I go to Linux when I can use Windows? It's okay to use Windows. But on older equipment, it makes it much more usable. And one of the lovely things about this particular desktop environment is that it's very customizable. So if we can change our icon set. It's basically a lot of point and click. There are other desktop environments with Linux Mint. I like XFCE because it's very simple. And what it also allows us to do is to make it look like the way we want it to, versus others where it's, Cinnamon and Mate are also very much have those kind of features. But what I like about XFCE is that it's simple, and that it really makes let's increase the size on that. It really makes it look the way I want it to. And I'm not focused so much on aesthetics as I am on performance. And what I love about Linux is that I don't have to worry about Windows shenanigans. All I have to worry about is basically productivity. So let's shift our desktop wallpaper to, let's look. Okay. Oh, okay, I know. Let's shift to my victory photo from Chicago TARDIS a few years ago with Alex Kingston. Yeah, okay, go ahead and envy me. But one of the lovely things about this is that you get software that's very full-blooded. So as a writer, I rely on LibreOffice, which is a full-on office suite, much like Microsoft Office, except it's free. And you can download it to operate on Windows. So you can open doc files. So if we do that, I'm going to just pause for a second. Okay, as we're seeing, I downloaded Microsoft fonts, and so it looks really, really, really nice. You can also opt to get the Office 2013, you can get this type of office style ribbon. However, I actually prefer, and I'm one of the strange people that actually prefers the default. Yes, it's got an Office 97 vibe to it, but you know what? I don't care. It's usable, it works, and the lovely thing is it formats just the same. We're going to close that, and if I open, say, this file, again, using their Excel substitute, and if you know a venue where we can do streaming, here's where we've got, these are for the Doctor Who meetup, which is, again, it works very much the same. In terms of documents, what I have, you've got a couple of options. So for PDFs, what we're going to do is you've got a generic document viewer, but you can download other open source variations of it. And so here we're highlighting Marty Quaid. Oh, look, Gordon Demowski, who's that guy? I mean, you've got Chris Bell, great writer. Gene Moyers, really great writer. Michael Black, great writer. Demowski, he's kind of a hack. And when you're with EPUBs, what we can do is, I use Bookworm because, as we're waiting for it to load, well, let's try this again. Maybe I didn't click it through. Oh, well, here we go. Again, if you're expecting, with Linux, you may not necessarily get blazing fast, but we can go, but see, again, I prefer this way, especially when I'm doing research or as I'm writing. For those of you, you have other options. Again, it's customized to my preference. And so the other nice thing is, although you can use Document Viewer to open CBRs, I prefer a freeware called Q Comic Book, which, as we watch it open, as it's loading, and I can configure it from there. But as you can see, it's just really, really user-friendly. So we're going to take another quick break. And as you've noticed, I'm using, in this corner, open source software called Kazam to actually do this screencast. So the next thing we're going to cover is email. So the lovely thing about Linux is that most open source software runs smoothly, unlike Windows 10, where software like Thunderbird does not run all that smoothly. And keep in mind, this is 11-year-old hardware. So if you're expecting anything super fast or super swift, that's fine. But for Thunderbird, as it's opening up now, as you can see, it's actually coming in and slightly responsive. Doing this on Windows 10 would be pretty much close to impossible. So the other nice thing is that with Linux Mint, they switched out their default media player for an adaptation of VLC called Celluloid. So we're going to open up, let me give you a practical demonstration. So yes, I am, okay, we're going to do, okay, yes, we're shutting that off before the YouTube copyright gods get after us. Anyway, as you can see, there's a really good sense of responsiveness. But the lovely thing is that, the really cool thing that I love about Linux is that it works right out of the box. We also have other software like GIMP, and I have both Calibre and Sigil for ebooks because this is going to be a self-publishing machine. And although I can use Celluloid for audio, my favorite is Lollipop because it's kind of it's more of a full-on platform. Most media players operate on like single songs. Lollipop handles albums. So it's giving me, ooh, Radio Free Scarl, they're cool. But if I open up to a full view, as you can see, I've got a wide variety of albums. Shout out to Ron Fortier. Yes, I've got the Green Hornet on here. And yes, I've got my Harry Lime. As many of you know, I love the Third Man movie, and Orson Welles is kind of a weird little obsession of mine. You also have a nice little inbuilt image viewer, so we're going to open that. So if you're doing plain old graphics, you've got that, but also it handles animated GIFs very well. So okay, yeah, enough of that. The other thing, in terms of browser, although it comes with Firefox, my personal favorite is Vivaldi. Vivaldi is very customizable. The other lovely thing about it is that it has privacy and ad blockers built in, and it also allows you to sync between machines. But the cool thing about it is that it encrypts your data between when you're uploading and downloading, so you don't have to worry about privacy issues or anything getting out. So as we're waiting for Vivaldi to load, and I have particularly, well, I have AT&T internet. Make up your own joke. So we're loading Vivaldi. So let's go to Facebook. Don't worry, there's nothing I have to worry about here. So we look, hey, Mike Albright. Monk Manual. No, nope, nope, nope. Nopity, nope, nope, nope. Let's see. What other Facebook shenanigans do we have here? Okay, I'll check all that out later. Let's check out Twitter. Again, if you're expecting blinding fast for an 11-year-old machine, you're not going to get it, but Linux gets the job done. And the other thing is, I also have Steam installed here. I'm not an active gamer, so I don't know how functional. It runs okay for me, but if you're an active gamer, I've heard good things about Steam on Linux. But I also can't really tell you that whether it's effective or not. But I'm hoping that as you're watching all this, and the other thing with Vivaldi is you can do you can do Chrome extensions because it's built on the Chrome engine. So kind of to finish up this screencast, doing several at once. Spoiler. Up, and as and the price already loaded. If you'd like to learn more about the actual practices and the actual how-to, let me suggest two great YouTube channels. The first is Chris Titus Tech. No, he's not the guy who is in that Fox sitcom in the year 2000 with Stacy Keach. That's Christopher Titus. Chris Titus, he does really good practical videos about, and he's very plain spoken about why he uses Linux, and he does really good how-to videos. And then there's also Switch to Linux, who he not only does similar videos, but he also discusses, he's doing distro comparisons. Linux is known as distros, and there's so many versions of Linux. you can really deep dive and do some exploring. So if you're curious, the first thing I would suggest is go to DistroWatch and just see what's up and out. And if you're going to upgrade your own system, I would suggest you figure out what's your processor, how many gigs RAM you have, if you're a 32 or 64-bit machine, and how much memory you have. And also think about what you're looking to do with your machine. I have self-publishing software on this machine like Calibre and Sigil, so I'm looking to do some publishing it myself, but I also do a lot of writing. So I'm just looking for something that works, that feels like Windows, and I can configure my desktop environment to look like Mac if I wanted to. But if you want to do DistroWatch, you can, and just read up on different types, as well as watch those YouTube channels. You also want to head to distrotest.net. A lot of Linux distros, you can do what's known as a live key, which is run it off a USB drive or a CD-ROM or a DVD. The lovely thing about DistroTest, and yes, Linux is a lovely software suite, is that you can run distros online and kind of test them out before you actually download. If you're just looking at, hey, Linux Mint is cool, I just want to do that, you can go to linuxmint.com, and then if you go to download, you can not only get the XFCE like I have, but you can get Mate and Cinnamon, which are different desktop environments. You can also get, if you look at LMDE, Linux is built on a distro called Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is a derivative of Debian. And LMDE means Linux Mint Debian Edition. And so what they're looking to do is, Ubuntu has some quirks to it, and they're run by a company called Canonical. And Canonical has been doing some questionable things in terms of privacy issues. Linux Mint does not collect or transmit any kind of personal data. But they're also looking at Ubuntu and going, hey, maybe we should be prepared. So if you are distrustful of an Ubuntu base, you can check out LMDE, which is Debian Edition. It only has one desktop environment, but that's just a tomato issue. And then here's my Patreon page. This video will obviously be up there, but if you want to support community-based blogging and writing, so yesterday I posted about supporting neighborhood small businesses. I'm reposting my old comic-related columns as Patreon-only benefits, and I also post all sorts of really cool other things. So go to patreon.com/Gordon Domowski, become a supporter. You can do it for as low as about $1.50 a month, and then go to gordondomowski.com/contact me, and you can send me an email if you have any questions. Thank you very much for listening, and I'm really proud that I've been able to turn an 11-year-old laptop into a writing and self-publishing machine. My dad liked to think of himself as Mr. Fix-It, and he wasn't very good at it. I don't think I'm very good at fixing things up, but I think when it comes to this laptop, I'm really proud because even though I have a Windows laptop for work, this allows me to have a little fun and to actually enjoy computing. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully talk to you soon. Take care.